Hello and welcome to the Party Center Speaks podcast. This is the podcast for family entertainment centers and event venue owners, operators, managers, and staffers looking to grow their businesses. Want to learn more about booking parties, improving facility operations, and more? Then this podcast is for you. So, my name is Nadia Milton, and I'm the Client Relationship and Marketing Coordinator here at Party Center Software. In this episode of the Party Center Speaks podcast, we will talk about how the attractions you choose can help you appeal to a wider age range. Welcome back, our special guest on today's podcast, Charlotte Pierce. So, Charlotte and her husband Jeff run a successful FEC in Paducah, Kentucky called Atomic City Family Fun Center. Atomic City is a premier entertainment destination that offers a wide range of activities and attractions that fit all ages. They focus on creating unforgettable experiences that cater to families, events, thrill seekers, anyone that wants to ensure that they have a great time. So, thank you for joining today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Lovely, lovely. So, today we're going to talk about how attractions and what attractions you choose play a part in appealing to all ages, or at least a wider age group. So,
Yes.
Atomic City currently features 10 or more attractions, is that right?
Approximately, yes, we do.
Yep.
We have several attractions. Yes.
Yeah, but it seemed like you all had golf simulators, soft play, arcades, go-karts, and like we said, more. So how
Yes.
did
Yes.
you approach kind of creating, curating this mix of attractions?
What we did, the first thing we did, of course, we talked to other people in the industry. We went and toured different plants. I can tell you this, when we first got ready to open this, my husband and a previous partner, they were going to, build laser tag, and they were going to build, the mini golf. And then we went and toured different facilities, and we thought, in order for people to take us seriously, that you're going to have to invest and have the right attractions. So we went with Creative Works, and they themed out our mini glow golf and our laser tag. And they have the big atom that's in the middle of our area. And so when people come in, they see that it's not just a mom and pop. There's nothing wrong with that, but that is premier. It's state of the art. We wanted everything to be clean. We make sure everything's maintained. You never want to have out of order signs on anything. That you always want to look first class when they come in, that it smells good, it looks good, that you only get one time to make a first impression.
That that makes sense. That's like the perfect approach to that,
Yes.
honestly. And so you have this incredible variety, and it seemed like you have some high energy experiences, like your Social 360, which for anybody that isn't familiar, it's like karaoke entertainment. And then alongside attractions are bumper cars or the mini golf, which are perfect for families. And how do you
Yes.
ensure that each age group feels safe and welcome?
We have a safety and maintenance manager. We have a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly checklist. We have a full-time maintenance person that comes in, checks our carts, every day. Every attraction is checked and seen. If there's, we have service slips. If something goes down during the day, we keep a log of everything, and just to make sure, that your normal, if you do your normal maintenance, just like on your car, you want to make sure you're rotating your tires, checking the oil, and you got to do the same thing in your facility. That, everybody is your eyes and ears, that you empower your staff, that if you see something, say something. And that, you want to keep that. And there's money, you've got to maintain and keep everything working properly, from even in the bathrooms. Everything's got to look good. And as owners, just to make sure that you do walkthroughs regularly, because things do get missed, and make sure all that is done.
That makes sense. And you did choose a trusted vendor. I know you mentioned Creative Works
Yes.
earlier.
Yes.
We always suggest them to everyone as well. So that's very interesting. And Yeah,
Yes.
I never heard of anyone having like their own, safety manager, sanitation manager. So
Yes.
usually I think like I just hear like the general manager kind of taking those duties on, but that's good. You took it a whole next step. That's fantastic. So
Yes.
it doesn't seem like anyone would view your website or think of your facility as not a good fit. I don't think anybody would think that. And what's been the
Yes.
key to creating and generating that appeal to any age?
Um, Keeping on top with trends, what's hot, like I said, speaking with your vendors, that we use a couple of different people for our arcade, what's working, what's making money, looking at your reports, making sure everything's reporting correctly. If something seems off, do check that. The arcades, we have about 60 arcades, and that is something always important. We are in constant contact. Delta Strike does our laser tags, so we're with them. Brunswick does our duck pins, so we, partner with them. Just every, amusement products does our go-kart. So just having those people on speed dial and forming those good relationships that if you need, if you need something, if you need a little extra help, that they're right there to help you. And like I said, just keeping everything maintained and clean will be a better guest experience, So if you go in somewhere and it doesn't seem clean, or, you don't ever want to have more than one arcade down at a time, because then people think that it's all down when you can only have one down. So just making sure that your staff is trained. Our go-kart and maintenance, he comes in once a week on the nights just to make sure that everybody's trained correctly on safety, on maintenance, that you just never know when something is going to go down. So keeping on top of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really well done. And so, as far as your marketing, how do you kind of appeal to all ages there?
What we have found out is, we talk to different people in the industry, and we focus everything on adults because they're the ones spending the money, and the adults are going to bring their kids.
Mhm.
So having that mix, we do. At the beginning we were like anti, you don't need a bar in there, you don't need this, you don't need that. But then we found out, I mean, look at other restaurants now, that it's different. When I was a kid, the parents went out, left the kids home with the sitter. Now the parents are out with their kids and they're having a cocktail with dinner. However, they're doing it in a manner where they're teaching children responsible drinking, that mom and dad can have one drink with their meal. So it shows the kids responsible drinking, how to be responsible and still have fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. Times have changed, and
Yes.
and yeah, I think about that. I'm like, I do see kids out at 10 p.m. now that I think about it. So they're
Yes.
living their lives with their parents, and like you said, they're
Yeah.
kind of changed their thinking, and then it makes sense to appeal to the adults because the kids, I mean, at a certain age point, they're not on social media or getting the emails, so that makes sense to appeal to the adults, and they'll decide for themselves. It seems like whether they want to bring their kids or if they feel like it's age appropriate. That makes
Yeah.
sense. And
Yeah,
then,
and we do for everything. Our stage, we have karaoke, we have bands, and so the parents can come and they can sit there and have a cocktail, and they can still see their kids on soft play, or they can, feel comfortable that their kids are there having fun. And since COVID, um, people's views have changed, and it's more about experiences, that you can buy your kid a toy that they're going to outgrow, but they're never going to forget that mom and dad, you put the cell phones down and you're inside that family entertainment center, and you're enjoying things with your family, that we call us the ultimate escape room. While you're in there, you can escape the outside world. There's so many heavy things, and it's not just for our guests, but for our employees too, that that's a safe place for everybody just to kind of have fun for that time while you're in there.
yeah, yeah, that's interesting. And was it important to have a kind of open layout when you were in the building stages? So like you said, like if you're over here, you could see your child over there.
Yes, we do that. And then also in laser tag and glow golf, we have a TV monitor out there so parents can watch their kids in there, having fun doing laser tag. And we also have, if the parent wants to go in there and they're not wearing the vest, if they want to go in there with their small child, that we do and encourage that. We want that engagement.
Yeah. And so do you think adding your tech-based or like the immersive attractions helped kind of expand that to older children or teens or adults?
Yes, we do. We have virtual reality, we have the golf simulators, we have the soft play, the duck pin bowling, laser tag, glow golf, go-karts and arcades. So there's something for everyone, that it doesn't matter what age you are. We usually say we're where you go after you graduate from Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is great for the younger kids, and once they get to a certain age then they come to us. So there's nothing wrong with other venues. That's great. And then when they, I shouldn't say age out, because I still like Chuck E. Cheese too. I think it's fun. So
Yeah.
it's good. I enjoy going to other places, see what's working for them, and then doing that. Even like when we first started, it was on a cash basis, and now we go to credits. And so even on your arcades, everything is like 7.3 credits or 12.7 credits, that, you look and see what the other places are doing and kind of align with that. See what the other places, what does their website look like? A lot of times we look at what are other FECs doing, what's working for them. We offer memberships now, and we've seen that that's been very successful for us as well.
Nice. And so do you think of your food as another way to attract guests? Taking a look at your menu online, it seems like you have the options that guests would expect, like burgers, pizzas, hot dogs.
Yes, we have changed some things on the menu. We've kind of streamlined it. We've taken some things away and we've added some things, just like sliders. Now sliders are a big, huge deal, that we have, a barbecue slider, a fried chicken slider, and a burger slider. So you can get one of each, you can get all three, kind of doing that. Our pizzas, we found a perfect mix on our pizzas. Lots of people come in there just for our pizza because it's really good. We've done a great job with that, streamlining, what foods are working, what's not working, things, handheld foods that they can walk around. We even did that with our soft drink menu. We do Coke now instead of fountain drinks, we do bottled drinks. That way people can put their lids on their drinks, walk around the facility with that. But we also have a fountain drink option over at our bar. So we've kind of the best of both worlds, that people, it's a lot less trash, the revenue might be a little different, but we found that it works best for us.
Wow. Yep, and it seems like it's all about kind of finding your own sweet spot. So
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. All right, so you've got the high energy stuff, the family-friendly classics, immersive tech, and food to tie it all in. Now, what would you say is the biggest benefit to offering your attractions to a wide age range, or your facility kind of marketing it to a wide age range versus saying, we'll do soft play for younger kids, or we'll do X laser tag for teens?
It's a great way for multi generations to come in. That way, if grandma and grandpa want to come in with the grandkids, they can. We've had a couple that came in on their 70th birthday, and a bucket list item, they wanted to ride go-karts. So it's a great way for different generations to come in. When we, the schools will come in to bring the kids, but the teachers just have just as much fun. At the end of the school event, we've something that we've done that's really fun. It's like the last 15 minutes, the teachers get out there and race, and the kids cheer on the teachers. So we found that's something that's fun. The kids get to see their teachers having fun, see them as real people, and it's a great way for the teachers to bond with their students. It's a great way, team building. You get to see how people work together and out of the workplace. It's a great way of bonding, having fun, getting out of the office. And when you feed into your team is going to grow at work. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. And then we get to see, and we get to be a piece of people making memories. So we're just as rewarded as they are.
Oh, I love that. And I think that's
Yeah.
a great way to wrap this up. That was my last question. So I say thank you, Charlotte, for joining us and sharing insights on how attractions help family entertainment centers appeal to all ages. It's been a pleasure having you.
Well,
And
thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be on your podcast.
Yay. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to this episode of Party Center Speaks. I hope that we shared great and useful information for family entertainment centers or even event venues everywhere. If you have any feedback or any topics you'd like to discuss, please be sure to email marketing@partycentersoftware.com. This podcast has now transitioned to weekly, so you can catch us every Thursday for a new episode. And Party Center Speaks is powered by Party Center Software. We are a facility management tool that helps family entertainment centers and event venues book more parties and manage their facilities. We also offer marketing services such as custom website design, digital advertising, SEO, marketing automations, and so much more that is designed to help you expand your reach and grow traffic. If you'd like to learn more about us or our vendor program, head on over to partycentersoftware.com and be sure to give us a follow at Party Center Software on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, and Party Center Soft on X. Until next time, thank you for listening. Wait, let's see. Nice.